What's up, guys? Welcome to my weekly Wednesday Live. This week I want to talk to you guys about motivation and why I don't think motivation works and what I think you should do instead. So let's talk about motivation first. So I'm sure we've all had the experience where something happens and you feel really pumped to go to the gym. This could be a single event, it could be a time of year, it could be a negative event. So for example, maybe like for me, when I first got in shape, I had a bad doctor's appointment and that was a really scary experience and that really motivated me to get in shape. Another negative event could be like you can't fit into your favorite pair of jeans, or you see a photo of yourself and you're not happy with the way you look. It could be a positive thing. We're all on social media all the time. You're on social media watching this right now. Maybe you see something really inspiring, whether it's someone that you know personally or you see a video or a before and after, and something about it really gets you pumped to go into the gym. Another thing could be like New Year's time. A lot of people are thinking about the past year. They're reflecting on their choices, on their bad decisions, and they're deciding that they want to make a change. So those are all times when we feel really motivated. And a lot of times this is a really good feeling. It's a lot of fun, potentially. Not necessarily if the motivation comes from a bad place, but around New Year's it can be fun. If you see something inspiring, it can be fun. But the problem with motivation is that it's fleeting. So motivation is an emotion, and our emotions come and go. We don't really have a lot of control over when they come up. The only thing that we can do is control our response to those emotions. So while we may feel inspired to do something at one point in time, we also need a way to do it when that feeling isn't around. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble, is they have this initial burst of motivation and then the motivation fades and then they no longer go to the gym, or they no longer feel like they can go to the gym. They're not in the right mood to go to the gym. So sometimes people will look for other hits of inspiration, whether they're looking for things online, or they're talking to friends, or they're trying to find the next new program that's going to get them excited to work out. And maybe you get another hit of motivation and another little burst of inspiration and you're able to train for a while, but even that will fade. And ultimately, you just become numb to this stuff. And you're in the same place that you were, where you don't really want to go to the gym, you're tired, you have a lot going on, and it's just really tough for you to build consistency. So that's the problem with relying on feeling really motivated, feeling in the mood to go to the gym all the time. What we need is something to bridge the gap. So I like the idea of building momentum when you're working out. So what does this mean? Momentum comes from getting the ball rolling and just relying on your past actions to keep moving you forward, to keep pushing you into the gym. You guys might remember in high school physics, or at least high school was the last time I took physics, the property of inertia, which is a property of matter that says that bodies in motion tend to stay in motion and bodies at rest tend to stay at rest. Well, I like to apply this to exercise. So if you are someone who is not working out regularly, it's going to be really hard for you to get to the gym at first. You're not going to want to go. You're going to feel like shit. You're going to be tired. You're not going to know what to do. But getting started is the hardest part. Once you've started to go more regularly, to get a little more comfortable, to get past your initial soreness, to get on a good workout program, it becomes a lot easier to go to the gym. So the important thing is to push past that initial period of suck, build some positive momentum, and then just keep going and not stopping on days when you feel like you don't want to go or you get really busy. Of course, there are legitimate reasons why you would not go to the gym. If you're really sick, it's in everyone's best interest for you to stay home so you don't contaminate people and so you don't prolong your illness. And if you have a last minute meeting that comes up when you plan to go to the gym, or your kids get sick, or there's a family emergency, all of that stuff is totally normal. It happens. But when you feel like skipping the gym, you have to be honest with yourself, especially if you're someone who's had a history of being inconsistent, and say, why do I not want to go to the gym today? Do I just feel tired? Is that a good enough reason to stop the positive momentum that I've been working so hard to build? And if you're honest with yourself and you think that, no, I'm just being like lazy, I know that sounds harsh, maybe lazy is not the best word, but you're just feeling unmotivated, and you should go to the gym anyway if you can. Because when you override that feeling of like stagnation or sluggishness or laziness and you go to the gym anyway, then you start to become a person who regularly goes to the gym. You start to build that momentum. You start to build new habits in place of your old habits, which were always skipping the gym when you didn't feel like going. Gradually, as you do this, another thing starts to happen, which is that your actual identity starts to change. And this is the most powerful thing. So if you think of yourself right now and you're someone who has a really hard time going to the gym, being consistent, sticking with an exercise program, and that's who you are in your head, think of how powerful it will be when you start to become the person who does always go to the gym, who doesn't succumb to just any old excuse in terms of skipping a workout. Someone who does make good choices even when they're tired, even when it's difficult. that is the thing that's going to propel you through times that are really challenging, and it's the thing that's going to help you be more consistent over the long term. And as you guys have heard me say a million times, long-term consistency is the most important thing when it comes to achieving any health or fitness goal, even if that goal is just feeling a little bit better and not something like losing weight or training for an event or something like that. So again, just to summarize, when we rely on motivation, we leave ourselves vulnerable to those periods of time when we don't feel motivated. And the bottom line is that not every day is going to be a great day. Not every workout is going to feel awesome. But if you want to change your body, get in better shape, feel better, you have to be more consistent with your training. So instead of waiting for that burst of motivation, I encourage you to push past the initial period of building a new habit and then do whatever you can to maintain your consistency, to keep that momentum going, because once you've done a certain critical mass of workouts, it's going to be harder for you to be like, oh, I'm just not going to go today, because now you're just the person who goes to the gym. Going to the gym is just what you do. It's just a part of your routine. And unless some big thing happens or you get really sick or you're traveling on vacation, you're just going to go to the gym. So that would be my first advice to you. Now let's dig just a little bit deeper here at the end. If you're constantly feeling unmotivated to train and you never want to go and you dread it, I would recommend looking at your workouts and reevaluating what you're doing a little bit. So it could be a few things going on. First of all, your goals may not be in line with what's really important to you. So a lot of people come to the gym and they say, I want to lose weight. They feel like they're supposed to lose weight, or they feel like that's the right thing for them to say. But in reality, it's not that important to them when it comes down to it. They're not really in a place where they want to do that, or it just doesn't really resonate with them. Maybe it would be better suited chasing a strength goal or rehabbing an injury or something like that. And if you figure out what that actual goal is, even if it's something really small, like just being more consistent or feeling a little bit better, and that's your priority, then you're going to be more likely to show up versus showing up to do something that you think you're supposed to do but is not really important to you. Because of course, if that's the case, when you get tired or times are hard, you're not going to come. So that's my first piece of advice beyond just actually showing up and being more consistent and building momentum, is evaluating if your goals are in line with your values. The next thing is that your workouts should be fun. So even if you are chasing a goal that is important to you, make sure that you like your training on some level. Your training can be challenging, it can push your comfort limits, but I would not recommend most of your workouts be things that you don't like to do. There's so many different ways to exercise, even just in one modality. Even with strength training alone, which is what I work with people, there's dozens and dozens of different ways to train, different tools, different styles of training. So there's always a way to change things. And I would experiment. If you really hate what you're doing, try something else and see if you like it a little bit better. If you hate weight training, or you hate running, or you hate team sports, try something a little more unconventional. I know rock climbing is really big in Chicago, and there's a great community around that, and I'm sure that's true in other cities as well. You could spend more time outside. You could play around with a bunch of different things, yoga, Pilates. But if you're always dreading going to the gym, you may need to try something different and find something that's a little bit more fun for you. And then the last piece is just to get a little bit of extra accountability. It's hard to do things on your own, especially things that are challenging and take a lot out of you physically and mentally. And if you can recruit a workout buddy, virtually or in person, or if you hire a trainer or a coach to help you, those things can help push you over that initial period of suck, as I called it, to start building that positive momentum even when you really don't want to do it. So I hope this was helpful, you guys. I know we're getting into a time of the year where a lot of people have a lot on their plates. They're super stressed out. But if you can keep building good habits now, keep building that momentum, it's going to help you have a more successful holiday season, so that when it does come to January, you're not like, oh shit, what did I do the last 3 months? I have to totally revamp my health and fitness. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about this stuff, I'd love to hear from you. And I also have an email course that's designed to help you be more consistent. It's called my 4C system. I link to it in Facebook, and I'll link to it in Instagram as well if you guys want to sign up for that. This is additional information about how to overcome your hesitancy or your difficulty getting into the gym to be more consistent. All right, guys, have a good week. Thanks for watching.